Beneath the forgotten skies of the north, where the icy winds howl like lost spirits, and the auroras weave rivers of fire and emerald light across the heavens, whispers of an ancient realm lingered in the frozen silence. They spoke of Niflheim, the kingdom buried deep beneath the earth, veiled in shadows and frost, guarded by creatures born not of man or beast, but of night itself. Legends called them the guardians of the eternal night, and it was said they protected a treasure so powerful it could alter the fate of the world, the crystal of eternal night, a jewel that carried within it the essence of endless winter. For centuries, these stories had drifted through the world like forgotten myths, dismissed as the fancies of old travelers. But for Ariadne, a fearless explorer with a heart tethered to mystery, they were not merely tales, they were a call. The thought of Niflheim haunted her dreams, its shadows tugging at her spirit, urging her to uncover the truth. And so, with maps that had been etched by trembling hands long dead, and a team of adventurers bold enough to follow, she set out into the bitter north, where few dared tread. The journey was a trial of both body and soul. Days bled into nights, marked only by the shimmering dance of the auroras above and the relentless sting of the frost. Mountains of ice stood like sentinels against the horizon, and valleys of snow seemed to stretch into eternity. Yet Ariadne pressed forward, guided by faith in the whispers of forgotten lore, until finally, at the edge of a glacier that glistened like a blade of glass, they found it. A cave, its mouth dark and narrow, hidden from all but the most determined. It was the doorway to Niflheim. The descent was like falling into a world untouched by time. Shadows thickened as they climbed deeper. The air turned sharp with a cold so pure it seemed alive. Ice grew from the walls like crystal veins, and the silence was so heavy it felt like the earth itself was listening. And then, within that eternal dark, they appeared. The guardians emerged not as grotesque horrors, but as beings of awe and majesty. Their bodies gleamed like sculptures of ice carved by gods, their forms wreathed in shadows that moved like living flame, and their eyes burned with a light colder than the stars themselves. They were terrible and beautiful, ancient as the night, protectors bound to their sacred duty. Though their presence inspired fear, it was not the malice of monsters, but the solemn weight of their purpose, to shield the crystal of eternal night from those who would plunge the world into everlasting frost. Ariadne did not raise her weapon, she raised her voice. With words unshaken by fear, she spoke of her journey, her desire not for power, but for understanding. She told them of the world above, a place that had forgotten the nobility of shadow, a place that needed stories as reminders of the wonders hidden in the unseen. Her honesty, rare and untainted, stirred something within the guardians, for in their endless vigil they had seen too many who hungered for dominion, and far too few who sought only truth. Moved by her purity of intent, they granted Ariadne what no mortal had seen in countless ages. They revealed the crystal of eternal night. It pulsed with a radiance unlike anything known, an illumination made of shadow, a darkness so deep it shone. Its beauty was overwhelming, but within it was a warning, a weight of power that could shatter the balance of existence if ever misused. In that moment, Ariadne understood. Some treasures were never meant to belong to mankind. They were not gifts to be seized, but sacred truths to be honored. Kneeling before the guardians, she swore that their secret would remain untouched. The stories of Niflheim would be told not as conquests of explorers, but as hymns of reverence for the guardians, for the crystal, and for the eternal night they protected. When Ariadne and her companions emerged once more beneath the sky of fire and emerald light, they carried no gem, no proof to weigh against their words. They carried something greater, the living memory of what they had seen and the unshakable conviction that the world still held wonders too great for possession. Her tale spread like the auroras themselves, painting the world with awe and respect. Ariadne's name became legend, not as a conqueror of realms, but as a guardian of truth. She had looked into the heart of eternal night and returned with light enough to inspire generations. And so the legend endures, that in the coldest shadows, beneath the forgotten skies of the north, where monsters are guardians and darkness itself can shine, wonders unimaginable still wait for those who dare to seek them, not with greed, but with reverence. For the truest treasures are not the ones we take, but the ones we vow to protect.